YouTube, how are we? Oh, I'm having just one of those like 24 hours of just being in my head quite a lot. I just got a lot of stuff going on, and I thought I would sit down and film a video, just do something a little bit creative, just to distract my mind. And I actually filmed this video the other day, and it was literally just me sat down and for the whole video just talking to a camera about 5 things that I believe you need when it comes to going on, you know, like a health and fitness journey to really make like a physique transformation. And I just didn't really like it. I mean, it was literally just me sat talking to the camera, and honestly, when I was editing it back, I was like, this is fucking boring. So I've decided to be a little bit more creative with it. I'm gonna go over exactly the same points. I think that everything that I spoke about was like good points and are worth talking about, but I think creatively I could do a little bit better. So I'm gonna go through all of those points with you again, but today I'm training push, and I want to try and film some clips of that just to sort of overlay with this video so that you've also got, you know, something gym-based to watch. So yeah, I hope you are all good. We've got 2 months left till the end of the year, so I thought that this was a good video to film because obviously people are going to start to think about goals for 2024, New Year's resolutions, whatever you want to call them. And as we know, a lot of the time that involves like health, fitness, physique. So these are 5 things that don't get spoken about. We hear it all the time, like, oh, you need to be in a calorie deficit, oh, you need to be doing this training. And those things are very like valid and good points, but I think we all get it at this point. So these are 5 things that don't get spoken about that I personally believe you need when it comes to transforming your physique.
All right, push workout on the screen. The gym was really busy today. Everyone had decided to go to the gym at 10 o'clock in the morning when I decided to try and film a video. So there's a few interesting angles, but gives you something a little bit more to look at than just my face. So getting straight into it, the first thing that I think that you need when it comes to transforming your physique is a plan. And when I'm talking about a plan, I'm not just talking about training, nutrition. Obviously those things are very important, but as we've established, they're the things that everyone just goes on about all the time, and I'm like, I think we get the idea at this point. When I say a plan, I'm talking about a timeline. It's one of the first things that I map out with new clients that I take on, is sectioning up 3 to 6 months worth of phases. So when you're going to be dieting, when you're going to be, if you're bulking for example, if there's going to be any diet breaks, if there's any like holidays that we've got to take into account, just having something visual, not just saying, okay, I'm dieting now and I'm going to lose 10 kilos. Actually, what does that look like on a timeline? And with this, we've got to be realistic, and we've got to be able to maybe add in a little bit of wiggle room, a bit of extra time if, you know, we fuck up somewhere along the way, because we're human. It's going to happen. And again, maybe you've got like events coming up, maybe a wedding, maybe a party, maybe it's going to be a birthday. So having all of that on a timeline in front of you, I think is really, really important, and it allows you to have some control and some structure in terms of where you're going with your transformation. Moving in nicely to point number 2, spoke about being, what was the word I used? Realistic? I think that was the word I used with your timeline. Actually, also being realistic with what it is that you are going to be able to achieve. Obviously, being trans, and you know, most people watching this video are going to be trans, and I work with trans clients, we've got to be realistic with the position that you're in right now. So let's say that you are looking to bulk, but you're not on any kind of testosterone. How much muscle you're going to realistically be able to build is going to be a lot less than somebody who is on testosterone and has got testosterone levels that are within, you know, a male's range. So it's not about being negative or I don't know, like putting a downer on things, but at the end of the day, if you're not on testosterone and you are looking to, you know, get 16-inch arms, most of which made up with muscle, we've possibly got to, you know, be a little bit more realistic, and we've just got to understand, you know, what things we've got going on for us. And this is more so, again, a section that is just for trans people. You could even throw this to sort of like the fat loss side of things. If you're looking to, you know, drop body fat and you're looking to, you know, get a V-taper, get a six-pack, what is going to be realistic with the body fat distribution that you have currently got? If you're not on any kind of testosterone, or, you know, you are on testosterone but you've not been on it for a while, your body fat distribution is obviously going to be very different to somebody that has been on testosterone for a considerable amount of time. So understanding what is going to be realistic when it comes to things like muscle building, fat loss / the distribution of your fat loss is a really important thing to take into account, and something that you need when it comes to transforming your physique. This then takes us into something that you 1000% need, and that is patience. Now, again, you can kind of flip this to using being trans as an example. We know that, you know, after that first shot of testosterone, we're not going to wake up the next day with a beard. Might be nice to think that there's a possibility that that's going to happen, but, you know, it isn't. Just like one day of dieting, you aren't going to wake up the next day with abs. You have got to be patient. Transforming a physique, whether it's fat loss, building muscle, or both, takes a considerable amount of time. And again, it isn't about being negative, it's about being realistic, and you have to have patience when it comes to trying to change your physique. This is one of the reasons why I like to try and take a outward glance of things and not just focus on, you know, scale weight, day-to-day photos. You know, nobody's going to be taking physique photos day-to-day, or very few people are going to be in a position whereby taking photos of your physique every day is going to provide any kind of benefit. We want to be looking at weekly scale weight, you know, the average of the week. We want to be doing photos once a month, in my opinion, at most. Again, for most people, there's going to be times where obviously if you're super shredded, maybe you're somebody that's going to be competing or doing a photo shoot, daily photos, there's a place for that, but most people watching this video aren't going to be in that position. We're just talking about people that want to lose weight as a general population person. Maybe you've got a holiday coming up, or for your health and fitness purposes, you just want to lose some weight. So don't be putting all of your emotions into one day's worth of progress. There are going to be fluctuations. You want to be looking at this and assessing it week on week. So you need to have patience. Coming in at number 4, and possibly a slightly controversial one, but hear me out. You need to accept that you are going to have to sacrifice. Now, when I'm talking about sacrifice, I'm not talking about never being able to go out for food again with family, or never being able to have, you know, a chocolate bar. For most people watching this video, those little sacrifices are going to be things like not eating the entire packet of biscuits, just having one, or when you go out for a meal, not having pudding, just having a main. Again, there's different levels to this depending on what your goal is. If you're looking to get absolutely shredded out of your mind, then of course those sacrifices are going to be far more extreme, and actually you might have to miss out on social events, and there's going to be a lot of things that you can't do. But for people that are looking to lose some weight, build some muscle, or are just looking to improve their health and fitness, yes, you are still going to be able to go out and do these things, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to have to sacrifice some things, and that's just something you have to accept. At the end of the day, if weight loss was just a case of carrying on doing everything that you're already doing, nobody would have any health and fitness goals or any physique-based goals, because everyone would just be in really great shape. There are things that you're going to have to miss out on. At the end of the day, losing weight is about a calorie deficit, and a calorie deficit is about eating less than you have been already. So that itself is a sacrifice that you are going to have to accept, and there is no getting around that. The way that I like to think about it, and sounds a little bit negative, so just hear me out, is you're going to struggle regardless of what you do. but you can either struggle in the short term or you can struggle in the long term. The problem is a lot of the time people cave into those short term wants and those longer term wants get thrown out of the window. But that itself still causes pain just in the longer term. So let's say you're trying to lose weight and there's a couple of donuts on the side and you are desperately trying not to eat them. You cave in, you have them. Now in the short term, that satisfaction you have gained because those donuts taste fucking amazing. But in the long term, that scale's still not saying what you want, that dress still isn't fitting how you want it to, or those pair of jeans aren't fitting how you want them to, and you're not happy with what you're seeing in the mirror. So in the long term, you're feeling pain. Now let's flip that on its head. Let's say that you choose not to eat those donuts. Now in the short term, that fucking sucks because those donuts, they look damn tasty. You want to eat them. But in the long term, your scale weight's going down. Maybe your jeans are fitting better. You're just happier with what you're seeing in the mirror. Maybe for someone watching this, could even be a dysphoria thing. Maybe your weight is something that is contributing towards that. So that's something that can maybe be lessened. Obviously not saying that dysphoria can just be gotten rid of by losing weight. Obviously not saying that, but it might be something, and I see this a lot with people that come to me. They say that actually if we could just lose some body fat, I know that it will help with dysphoria. So again, in the long term, you're going to have that satisfaction. It just means that in the short term, you're going to struggle. So you're going to struggle either way. You've got to pick basically which pain you want to feel, which sounds horrendous, but it is true. And last, at number 5, you need to be able to appreciate the small changes, not just the big changes. If your full focus is on that end result, chances are you're going to struggle to stick at things because that end result is probably going to be quite far away in the future. We're going to be talking minimum months, possibly years, depending on what your final goal is. Those shorter term things that you're going to be achieving along the way, for example, maybe you can now do 20 minutes on the Stairmaster without having to take a break. Maybe you've increased your steps from 4,000 a day to 7,000 a day. Maybe your jeans are fitting like one size smaller. Just those quote-unquote small things, but actually they're all adding up to that bigger picture. And you've got to be able to appreciate those in order to stay on track, stay focused with that longer term goal. You've got to be able to appreciate the small changes. Those are, in my opinion, 5 things that never really get spoken about as much as things like, you know, having a training plan, making sure you're in a calorie deficit. We know all that at this point, or most of us know all that, but there are other things alongside of that that you've got to have. It's not just a case of having a really good training and nutrition plan. We know there's a lot more to it. And those 5 things that I've mentioned, having a plan, you know, mapping out your timeline, having realistic expectations in terms of what to expect based on the situation that you're in, being able to be patient. You know, weight loss or, you know, building muscle isn't going to happen overnight, accepting that you are going to have to sacrifice to a certain extent based on your goals, and lastly, just being able to and needing to appreciate the small term or the short term, changes that are going to be those foundations, those bricks to getting up towards that top brick of that final goal. If you agree with this video, feel free to drop a like on it. Any other points that maybe you think that I've missed, comment them down below. Let me know what your goals are right now and also for the new year. I'd love to find out, you know, some more about what it is that you're trying to achieve. And yeah, I will see you all in the next one.